What's up, everybody? This is Iron Trek 96. You're starting off this new year of 2024 with something a bit interesting. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Lord of the Rings Sauron action figure. So to start things off with this guy, this is what Sauron looks like in his packaging. As you can see, we get a nice shot of Sauron himself on the front of the box. Underneath him, we get that beautiful title of Lord of the Rings right there. For the back of the box, here's beautiful shot of the entire figure, if I'm not mistaken. That's the actual figure itself. It's a really cool looking action figure. It says 29 points of articulation. It pretty much gives you a highlight of all the articulated points on this figure. You get a little quick bio of Sauron right there. If you are interested in reading that, go ahead and pause the video. And of course, it includes Sauron's menacing mace. I'm not really too familiar with this toy line, to be honest with you guys. This figure, it just caught my attention. This guy just pops up in my feed, and I see him for like under 15 bucks, if I'm not mistaken. And then, I mean, I never heard of this toy line before, so of course it's not necessarily something that I normally collect. I stick to the 3 3/4 inch figures, but I was willing to make the exception for this guy because he's more of a 5-inch figure. And if you come to think of it, Sauron was actually like a 9-foot tall character in the movies. So it made sense to get him and put him alongside my other Lord of the Rings figures that I have that are 1/18 scale. Because, you know, it just wouldn't feel too unnatural because Sauron is a pretty big dude, and keeping him next to 4-inch figures probably seems about right. Enough of that, let's take a look at the actual figure out of the packaging. Here's Sauron out of the packaging, and I gotta say, they were not kidding when they were designing this figure. I mean, they went above and beyond when they gave this guy the details that they did, because, I mean, for the price this guy is going for, I'm truly surprised that they managed to just go above and beyond when it came to designing this guy and sculpting him. I mean, just look at that face. That in and of itself, it's just amazing. I mean, look at all the little details within the actual armor, all the little like scale looking detail on the chest plate there. You got the chainmail down there. I mean, look at the shoulder pieces. You got all these crazy looking spikes, but the paint job is just done in such a way where it actually gives it a really good representation when it comes to trying to make this plastic look like metal. You know, they did a really good job on the detail. That much is certain. I mean, just look at the cape itself. I mean, it's a simple looking cape, but I mean, that's still all the little texture pattern on there. I mean, he's even got this whole gauntlet spikes on there, like Batman. Yeah, overall, it's a really nicely detailed figure. I mean, I think that's great that they even went as far as to give him that small little detail of the ring on his finger right there. I mean, this guy's got the ring of power molded in. Aside from the details, I mean, this figure is not all 100% perfect. I mean, the detailing on him is great. They get an A+ for that. But in terms of quality control, that's where it gets a bit disappointing, because right off the bat, what I noticed is on this side, it's on there good for this piece of the armor, but on this side, it looks like it is supposed to be attached there, but it's just not. It's unfortunately like broken. And same thing with the shoulders up here. This one's on there good, but this one's just all flappy like that. The biggest concern and the biggest flaw I think this figure has is on the leg, particularly that one, because like you try to move it and it just pops right off. It's not broken, but the quality control on this guy, they should have paid more attention, because it's on one of those mushroom pegs. It's a swivel. It's just supposed to, when they're assembling, it's supposed to sit on there, you know, nicely and not come off like on this leg. You see? That's how it's supposed to go. But this one, I mean, unfortunately, it could just be the way that this plastic here was molded. It just pops right off like nothing. So that much is a letdown right there in and of itself. The hinges on the shoulders are a bit on the loose side. You can't really get him to like get a cool like pose with him holding this mace. He does come with that mace as his accessory, and that's pretty much it when it comes to the accessories that this figure comes with. He does come with an extra pair of hands. One of the pair of hands that he comes with is the more of an open hand type of a pose, I guess you can say, as if he's gonna reach out and grab something. And then the other pair of hands pretty much like for him to hold his mace. And as you can see, this hand does come with the ring also painted on there. Can't have Sauron without that. For the articulation on good old Sauron, the head, it does seem like it's on a ball joint. So you're gonna pretty much get that ball joint movement on the head. It does seem to get a bit stiff right around where you get to this point right here. It feels like if you continue to try to turn it, it will pop off. So I don't know, it's just the way that the head is probably molded that's causing that. But yeah, there's that for the head. For the arm, it does have this interesting swivel in there. As you can see, it just kind of moves in. That part is extremely loose. Same thing on the opposite arm. It does also have a ball joint on the actual shoulder right there. So you're gonna get that movement on top of that swivel on the upper arm. It does have this cut up here that's gonna allow it to rotate for the bicep. For the elbow, it does have double points of articulation. The wrist does have a swivel, of course, and it does have that extra joint that allows it to go in and out. Same thing on the opposite hand, as well as on the swappable ones. For the abs, you do get that ab crunch, as well as the swivel on the waist. And as you guys saw, that arm, that leg just fell off, and this piece just broke on camera. So yeah, there's that piece. I'm gonna have to super glue that later. As for the leg, that just pops right back on, and I think I'm gonna end up just super gluing that joint in place. Anyways, let's try to see if I could get the articulation on the opposite leg. So it does have a ball joint up there, yeah, right up there, and then that swivel as well, the one that keeps popping off on the opposite leg. It does have double joints at the knee to band. It also has a swivel there and a rotation on the feet. So that's it for the articulation on Sauron. Here's a quick size comparison for the Dark Lord Sauron himself. And as you can see, that 5-inch figure that he is scales really nicely along with these other 4-inch scale figures by Bridge Direct. They were released back when the Hobbit movie first came out. Yeah, these were scaled as 3 3/4 inch, 4-inch figures. And even though Mr. Sauron there is from a completely different toy line and obviously completely different scale, he still manages to fit quite well along with these other 3 3/4 inch figures. Because I mean, at the end of the day, Sauron is supposed to be a big dude, and to have a 9-foot tall character next to a I believe 5'9" character, I mean, that looks pretty good to me. Just in case, for those of you that are curious how Sauron would scale when compared to other armored figures from the 3 3/4 inch line, here he is next to Jango Fett, Mando, Captain Phasma, and this custom knight that I made from kit bashing both a Prince of Persia figure and a Army of Darkness figure right there. And because why not, here is Sauron next to a few other Dark Lords as well as evil leaders from different toy lines and genres. My final thoughts on what I think about this figure. I mean, as you guys saw throughout the video, this figure is both a good and a bad. If it weren't for that lack of quality control on this guy, this figure would be an overall A+. But as it is right now, I'd say it probably falls into a C- category, unfortunately. I mean, immediately this figure just gave me nothing but just awesome vibes right out of the packaging. And as soon as I started to move him around, try to put him in some interesting poses, that's where the flaws really started to come through, especially when it just started falling apart. Like, come on. But anyways, aside from those little nitpicks, do I recommend picking this guy up? I say he's worth it. Just bear in mind, even though that this figure might fall apart on you, like from that one scene from Jingle All the Way, where Arnold tries to get that bootleg Turbo Man from the Shady Santa Claus, and it just completely falls apart. Yeah, just know you're getting yourself into a similar situation with this figure, because off camera, after I tried getting this guy to pose, the entire half of the upper body just completely split, meaning that his arms fell out, his torso fell out. It was crazy. So with a little bit of super glue and you know, readjusting of the certain parts, it should be a good. But one shouldn't have to do that. That should have been taken care of at the factory. But yeah, aside from that, this figure is worth picking up, especially if you want to have an extra evil Dark Lord to add to your collection of 3 3/4 inch figures. So yeah, this concludes my review of the BST AXN 5-inch Sauron figure by the loyal subjects. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and if you guys liked the video, feel free to leave a thumbs up. Also, share this video. It would really help me put my content more out there. And also, if it's not too much to ask, you know, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That would really mean a lot to me, and it would honestly help me out quite a bit in order for me to get more of these awesome videos out there for you guys. You know, you guys are awesome for having tuned in. And this is Iron Trek 96 saying thanks for watching.